If you could press a button, you get $50,000. Your worst enemy gets $100,000. Do you press the button is the theoretical question. I have an interesting follow-up, but I'm curious, does anybody else have any like early notes?
The answer is already yes. I don't hate anybody so bad that I would take away 50K for myself. I think if I had a true enemy, maybe my answer would be different, but I don't really have any enemies.
If I was John Rambo and had a list of sort of rogues, I would probably need to think this over a little harder.
That's true. I have no rogues gallery. I'm pretty chill in general with everybody so far. Connor, you get the AV equipment set up, plug it in, set it up to power, and push in the tape. And you watch the same thing that Thomas Puck saw, and that is the security feed. Fast forward for a little while, trying to get to the moment. You see the cop car pull up. You see an absolutely destroyed Thomas Puck being carried out partially by Sheriff Joe. And then fast forward a little bit more, you play again, and you see the back seat car door open. And stepping out is very clearly Taylor Finney. She has been stabbed numerous times. She is covered in blood. Some of that blood, as she stands, like pools and drips out. She looks around, and then she walks straight away from the hospital here. She's walking slowly but decidedly. She's not stumbling. She's not holding any of her wounds. She's just walking forward.
Is there a direction it looks like she's coming in?
It's fairly general. It's leading to the main road, and that will go one of two directions. The main road does like circle around the town, but it would go directly north or south on this section of the road.
Is she still, does it look like she's actively bleeding, or has the bleeding stopped?
The bleeding stopped. After she stood up, there was pooled blood that fell. But then by the time she walked off camera frame, there wasn't really anything dripping on the ground.
Okay. Is the hospital central in town?
It's on the western side of town.
Okay.
I have a related question, something that we probably would have noticed. Does she walk to the sidewalk and then turn? Or does she, as the crow flies, go straight in a direction?
She's walking through, she's on like blacktop. And you see her walk towards the main road on the blacktop. You don't see her go for a sidewalk at all.
Oh, so the camera angle's just too tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like she's angling anyway. She's just walking down this main drag.
Should we also ask the sheriff to check on the other body that was found? Make sure it's still where it is?
The one in the morgue?
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess the question is there like a morgue in town, or does it go to a funeral home? You know what I mean? Like, is it large enough that we just left a hospital. That body's probably sitting in actually, no, so that is the question then. Is there a city morgue that is a different building than the hospital, or are they conjoined?
They're conjoined. She would either be at a funeral home or she would be at the morgue in the hospital.
I mean, we can turn around and we're in the van. I'll say I can turn around and drive us back to the hospital, but it's gonna be a weird excuse trying to get into the morgue without the sheriff. That's gonna be a hard one to swing, especially if you're not trying to dox your FBI status, Connor.
Yeah.
There's not a better way to get in there than you saying, "What's up? I can go where I want."
I'd rather not play that card yet.
Yeah.
Well, or if we can contact the sheriff real quick, maybe he can like just call to check in, make sure the body's there. Tell him like about like doing another autopsy, or if there's an autopsy progress report. So then they'll be like, yeah, we've checked the body or something.
I think it might be worth our time. I think he's probably also in transit to his location and is going to have to process the good President Brian Pierce. So I think we should probably roll up to the school, get some of our business done, and then make it a mental note to ask him to swing down there and see what he can see. My guess is, Connor, I get the sense that the sheriff is going to be asking you what he should do for the foreseeable future. So,
Yeah.
thankfully, I think you're going to
Alright.
be able to instruct him quite frequently. So, I think that'll be of great assistance to us. And I assume by now we're like pulling into the school.
Yeah. At this point, you were pulling in. Connor, you have seen, I guess, slightly refutable evidence of the other side here peeking through. I know you're still not a full believer.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm of mind it was some sort of almost like germ that reanimated. It's almost like a zombification virus or something.
Like the fungus that takes over bugs. by eating
Yeah,
their brain.
that's that's where my brain's at right now.
You're like, we got to get in contact with the CDC.
Yeah, my thoughts on quarantine, make sure this doesn't spread.
Connor's primary weapon is not his sidearm. It is Occam's razor, and there is a nice explanation for this.
Charles, I'm going to assume you get dropped off first. So the tape finishes, and you will be, Charles, you're going to be dropped off at the edge of the woods where you had last seen Emily.
All right. And Jessica, do you have like a memento or something I could like bring with me? Like a cheerleader kind of like badge or anything?
I'll
Just,
pull out like my bow. No, you could use this. I mean, it's my bow, but we all have the same one.
She pulls
Yeah,
a longbow out of her bag. She's a level 5 ranger.
It's worse.
Or one of those like bow staffs or something. I was just like,
We all get one.
I'll take that. I guess I'll tie it around my like antler nub as I shift into a deer and sort of trot off into the woods.
That would be the creepiest
What
thing.
the
Can you
fuck?
imagine being her seeing a deer man wearing the bow of another cheerleader lost in the woods? I'm done. You know,
Hey,
I'm out.
Okay, so this is insane.
Hey guys, as we all watched Charles leave, did we know Charles could do that? Did I didn't. I look at the other two. Did we know that could happen?
I think that Jessica knew. Connor, I believe we glossed over it. He did do that in front of you at the college. You saw it.
Yeah. I think then I like shapeshift though once I had like already gotten inside.
Oh, so he didn't see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's what you're hung up on?
Deer man.
Our nice
Yeah,
friend
maybe-
that's helping
yeah.
us can turn into a deer. Well, so be it. The devil's here.
Yeah. And,
No, Jessica.
and for Charles,
You make one hell of a point. That's fair enough. That's fair enough right there.
How
Yeah.
does your deer man look? Like, how big are you? How lanky?
yeah, I think the transformation itself is like he's just like thinking like gotta go fast, get into the woods, and so like that's like the compulsion that like transforms him, and so it feels very natural to him, kind of like just going down like a slide and like off the edge of it, there's like a little bit of like a whoosh, and then you're like in the water in this different form, kind of thing. But I think he's probably like a rather tall deer with a bit of like that dark, shadowy kind of like tan fur and stuff.
Are
So-
you like a
so
werewolf
thank
where
you so
you're
much.
like half man,
Oh,
half
yeah.
deer? Or are you a deer when you transform?
Yeah, a deer.
Okay. So
Okay.
you're
That's how I don't know how this is true. That's significantly weirder. That's
Yeah,
that's
right?
drastically weirder than you anamorphsing and getting stuck halfway. You being full deer is crazy.
Yeah, Connor, you see your friend Charles transform into a deer, but you're like, I bet you this is a disease. And then you see Charles turn into a deer.
Yeah. And now I have to really think about life.
Behind up on the hill behind our shoulders, sitting at a picnic table eating a sandwich, is K.A. Applegate, who goes what, and in 5 years we'll write the first Animorphs book.
And then go crazy.
Yeah, and then write like 36 books and half the characters die and like sacrifice themselves.
No
Those books are
spoilers for the
wild.
90s hit.
Also,
Yeah.
will be the apocalypse, right?
And several
Doesn't the
aliens.
apocalypse happen in that?
Yeah, but I think they time travel and they kind of undo it.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, Animorphs is crazy, guys. Read the synopsis. It really goes crazy.
I'm going to the library, and Thomas turns around and starts walking up the hill.
You know what you're gonna find at the school library? The Animorphs. Thomas, you set off. Charles has just leapt out. Connor, I assume you're frozen for a moment.
All right. There's one time, maybe there's just shapeshifters.
It's just werewolves.
Maybe,
Thomas-
maybe it's just that.
Thomas was of the same mind with psychics. He was like, maybe there's just psychics, and then, no.
It turns out.
You all
Oh yeah, I
said
forgot we said that. It turns out it's never psychics. It's like never
sorry,
ever.
Connor.
Psychics.
Connor, I totally forgot. I slipped some ecstasy in your McDonald's. I'm so sorry.
Some
That
hallucinogens.
explains it. All right.
Ah, there we go. That's better.
Oh, that's a
I
hilarious
said-
explanation. Hunter's walking up the hill and he's like,
This
"I
guy.
did LSD at a party in 1982, and
It's
this
coming back.
has to be that. This has to be that. There's no other way."
Residual.
Whoa, you think that you turned into a deer? Are you freaking nuts?
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
what? That didn't happen.
And the tracksuit Charles is wearing is already like deer pattern with like the tan and then the white stripes in the middle.
So, it blends in. Gaslighting somebody in a situation like this where monsters do exist and you need him to know that into believing they don't again is wild. You guys drive off while Charles enters the woods. Within a minute, you're at the campus. This is not very far away, only about a mile. You make it to the campus. The sun has fully set. It is nighttime at this point. The campus is still closed, but luckily, Connor, in your faux job as the janitor, you have keys to access basically everything. And you make quick progress around the back from the parking lot, past the sporting field, the football field and track field combo, to the library. It's not incredibly large, but it's substantial for a small college like this. You're probably going to be able to find everything you're looking for. You do see that there are lights on at the library. There are not lights on at basically any of the other locations, but there are some lit up in here. Somebody's clearly inside.
As we're walking up, I'll say, I actually think that I might know who is inside. The other day, when I had visited the school in the morning, not realizing that things were about to take a turn for the supremely, completely, and strangely weird, I spoke to William Graham, the student body president, and he asked if I needed any help, and I told him I was going to end up searching through books for records of local fires. I thought this was like an arson thing. I didn't think the heat clued me into that. So unfortunately, a young man is probably in there who has just wasted his afternoon. I hope he has moved on to other personal tasks by now.
You get up to the front, Connor. The door is locked. You take out the keys and clunk, go to swing it open. Is there anything you're going to say first?
No, I was just gonna ask. Does anyone know his upbringing?
I would, right?
You would. Jessica would have actually a special interest in this because it was revealed to me out of session that Nicole believes Jessica would have a crush on William Graham. So she probably has some intel. So yeah, you would know some about his upbringing.
Just want to know, like, a family of high prestige. If he's up by the bootstraps, any of that.
Yeah, Jessica, roll me plus sharp or plus charm. It depends on how you wanted to get this information. If you're just picking up bits of information like through your time here, it would be sharp. If you were like dishing with the girls, it would be plus charm.
I rolled a 6.
You don't know very much. It seems like he's a bit tight-lipped about his family. You know that he grew up in town. He's been here his whole life. And he lives actually very close to you. He lives in Shady Grove.
Boy next door.
Yeah, he's a boy next door type. He's like 10 houses down on that street. But he is in Shady Grove.
All right.
Yeah, unfortunately with the 6, it'll be fairly limited information.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is fine. That's all I wanted to know.
Gotcha. Yeah, Connor, you ask that right before you open the door. She gives that information, and you swing that door open. And sitting at one of these like long rectangular tables among the stacks with one of those small desk lamps clicked on is William Graham. You guys guessed correctly at who would be inside this library. And you see he has a stack of like newspapers and town information registries, stuff like that, and he's like taking some notes down, and he sees you guys come in, and he does a double take.
Is he Matt Damon, yes or no?
No, he's not Matt Damon. He is Freddie Prinze Jr.
Even better.
But not actually Freddie Prinze Jr. He's a slightly different version, and all likenesses are by happenstance.
He is a legally distinct
He's actually
character
just
who could be
Fred.
described as looking like Freddie Prinze
Fred.
Jr.
He's Fred from the live action Scooby-Doo.
If
No
somebody
relation
was-
to Freddie Prinze Jr.
If somebody was going to play him, I would personally cast Freddie Prinze Jr., but from like 1990. So yes, you see him, and he's taking some pretty studious notes. He sees you come in, and he's getting ready to say that campus is closed. You be
Can I
here.
read his mind?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll your whatever you have to roll to read mind. I think plus weird. but
Jessica
am I
hangs her
crazy
coat
for
rack
doing
up
that?
on one of the things because she reads his mind every time she sees him to see if he's thinking about her.
Oh yeah.
This
What
dude
are the
gets
thoughts?
migraines like crazy, and it's like they started like
Bloody
a month
noses.
ago. I don't know why.
He's got Swiss cheese brain.
He's gonna get a CT scan in 10 years, and they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know how you're
Were you a
up.
Football player? Like, what happened to you? What'd you get?
That
Sure,
is 7
read
plus
mine.
2, so 9.
You get to ask one question basically. And I'm gonna say you're just getting a general sense, right? You're trying to see what he's thinking as you enter in, or are you trying to see what he was thinking before he recognized you were there?
Yeah, I would ask, like, what is being concealed here?
Yeah, it's interesting because when you do this, you get an influx of information. You're picking up tidbits of stuff from Thomas and Connor and the residual anxieties that college students feel while they're studying for final exams, the annoyance of the library at having been ordered out of this place. All of that's entering into your mind at the same time, but you focus in to try and get the information straight from Will. At first, you just hear him like, maybe I should check a little bit back further, like 1800s. And then you open the door, and what's being concealed here isn't obvious. It's pretty late. Will should probably be at home. Campus is closed. It wouldn't make any sense for him to do this favor for the last like 24 hours for Thomas Puck. He is avoiding something. He's uneasy. He doesn't feel right. And you get that sensation as you connect to his mind that there's a cloud over him that even he doesn't really understand.
Shapeshifted a
Okay.
wombat or something. Can you?
You hear that from Thomas and you brush that thought aside.
I look over to Thomas, I go,
Probably can.
Thomas has
Yup.
quietly, as we walk into the room in his brain, been like, how would you know if you could transform into an animal? How would you? And Thomas just like, man, no. How would you know? As they're making their way in. Yeah, I mean, Thomas will see him. He's not going to wait too long for somebody else to introduce the moment. He'll go, William,
Hey, how's it going?
good. How are you? We've found ourselves running as a group. You must have heard there's dangerous goings on in town. They're saying to stick together, and I'll walk in and try to get a look at what he is working on as everybody else filters in behind me.
You know, it's funny. You're just the man I was hoping to see. Come on over. I've been taking some notes, trying to find some information on fires in town for you. I know that with the library closed and campus closed, it's going to be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But there's some typical fires. You know, a couple every year. Otherwise, there was a large fire a while back, like a long while back. But that's about it. I mean, nothing really jumping out at me. I've got all the dates written down, information written down. So for your article, right, you can.
Yeah,
can
talking
use all
about
this.
large-scale events in the local area. You said there was a large fire. When was that? What are you talking about there? And I'll look up and go, oh, and by the way, these are the people I've been moving around with today since we heard about the unfortunate news. A lot of us sort of ended up investigating the poor situation. You know Charles and... Actually, wait a minute. You know all three of these people. we all spent time here. The janitor, sports coach, and cheerleader.
Yeah. I mean, I know everybody, some more than others, but you know, it's good that everybody's traveling together. You know, I'll tell you what, once I head out of here, I'd probably appreciate a bit of an escort back home, so it's good to see y'all here. Are you're here just to look more into the fires?
Well, that
All of
among
you?
Other things, my fellow compatriots are gonna... I think you guys talked about occupying your time with some,
homework.
amateur research, homework, and other such things. And I'll take a look at if he has like this stack. I'll like grab the paper associated with whatever big fire he's talking about and set about to kind of reading through it.
He points at the paper. He says the big one was 1881 in September.
Thomas out loud says, "Of fucking course it was." Takes it and starts reading.
And he turns to you all to see if you guys had any questions as well.
I'm just looking at the cults.
Oh, I mean, there's like a spiritualism section that might have some stuff. There's some historical documentation on things.
Historically be perfect.
Spiritualism this far south?
Yeah, it's in the restricted section. All right, Colt's cool. I don't have any information really, but I'd be happy to help you look.
You're really channeling a college boy who is within 100 meters of a college girl. He's like, no, yeah, I can help you. It's great.
I know plenty, but not in a weird way.
I know an appropriate amount about how libraries work, and I'm confident about how much info that is.
That's so impressive. Yeah. I have to translate a passage of Latin for church, so
Church.
for church.
Oh yeah, Latin. He guides you down a few of the stacks, and he says, "We've got like foreign language studies here, so there should be a Latin translation guide." And he finds like an old red book. It's super beat up and tattered, apparently well used, and he hands that over to you. Your hands brush as he hands it, and we jump back over to Thomas. Thomas, you've gotten this information. 1881, there was a large fire. Jessica, you heard that he was thinking about going back even later or earlier, so he stopped pretty close to that 1881 gap. And you see that as well, Thomas. He gets down to like 1858, and it starts getting a bit scant on details. He doesn't have anything past that.
I mean, there's certainly not going to be a newspaper as far back as 1771. The best we can hope for is the journal or a town record, or, that's if the town was big enough to be making records of deaths. And if this part of the country had people in it in 1771. Can I be honest? I have no fucking clue if that's true or not. I have no idea what the settling of that southern part of America was like in that time period.
It wasn't settled until like 1786 or something like that. But in this universe, it was here in 1771.
Yeah, so wait, so Plymouth Rock
America.
is just like 20 miles, it's like 200 miles further south. So the whole revolution is just shifted down. The Saratoga doesn't matter at all in this timeline.
Saratoga's actually been renamed. It doesn't even exist.
No
in
one
modern
gives
day.
a shit. They renamed it Horsetown in 1904.
It's actually New Charming.
Yeah, he'll look through the details on this 1881 fire. He'll flip quickly to the obituaries. These deaths all happened in rapid succession, and it seems like the world is getting hotter. So if this is a newspaper in 1881, he'll flip to like death and birth and wedding announcements to see if there is a couple of unfortunate passings of younger people, which all would have been announced in the Sunday paper along with talking about this fire, and a bunch of hand-drawn ads for, I don't know, buckles or whatever. He'll do a little bit of that to see if it looks that similar, and then from there just sort of mosey on.
You already know you're rolling to investigate a mystery. Hit me with that plus sharp.
Wow, 12.
Wow.
He
Okay,
floats
yeah,
off the ground. I'm so close to a level up. I actually would have loved to fail that roll. I would have kicked ass. So 12. So he's poring over fine-toothed comb, looking over them.
So looking at the...
Oh, I forgot how the game works. That's a really good point. On a 10 plus, hold 2. Can't wait to get advanced. Anything with sharp, I have a good shot at. What sort of creature is it? And what can it do? Thomas doesn't expect that information to be in here, but he's hoping that by like filtering it through what he knows is real and what he knows is fake, he can get some sense of what it seems like could cause destruction on this scale and what logically it can do.
So what can it do? I'm going to answer first.
Nice.
The unfortunate reality you find as you're looking through these clippings and journal entries and reports about the town, you find that this was a fairly solitary thing that happened. It was a church that was burned down. There were several parishioners inside of that church when it burned down. It looks like 5 people died in that fire.
Can I change my second question?
Yeah, go ahead, literally.
Note to self, you don't have to ask them both quickly. So I ask what sort of creature is it, and the answer is a man, dumbass. Okay, what sort of creature is it? And then I am gonna do what happened here. And Thomas thinks he knows like half of the answer. He thinks this is somebody stopping the last attempt to end the world. He thinks somebody burned the church to stop the last attempt. So all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute, and starts to flip through again, not looking for a monster that sets fires anymore, but looking for the people who may have been here at the time.
You are finding references now in those journal entries, and even in one official report saying that there were witnesses that saw the Witch of the Woods. The Witch of the Woods bespoke ill tidings, and in so doing burned down the church with a bunch of God-fearing people. They don't say that they saw the witch there, but the witch made an appearance somehow. More than one person says they saw the Witch of the Woods, and that was a portent of this ill tiding. So what happened here? The Witch of the Wood showed up and burned down a church, as far as these people are concerned.
And okay, so we've got this sort of post-Civil War, post-antebellum, immediately fire, and they all blame the witch, and they saw the witch. And Thomas looks up and sees Jessica and goes, so I think we know who shows up every time. And then he'll go start to look at historical records of 1771 in this area, and he's looking for reports of a possession or a witch trial, you know, something along those lines, some reference to like somebody showing up from another part of the US with the Malleus Maleficarum in hand is what he's looking for.
We jump to Jessica. Jessica, you have the Latin translation guide in front of you, and you're flipping through. Roll plus weird.
William's leaning against the bookshelf like, how's it going?
You know, hippopotamus is Latin.
I rolled a 6.
With a 6, you are flipping through. You translate the first words, and the first words of the Bible are the same. So that is a good guideline. You know that at least this translation works. You say, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Done. You got one sentence, you went back and forth, you translated that out. And then you flip through some more, and it takes you a good while to discern which sections might be added and which sections might be different. And you get to a page that seems well worn. It looks like
I was gonna say, I want to look for the pages that are greasy.
there are like ink smudges. This has been slightly torn. It's bent and crumpled a little bit. And as you're translating, there's one section that you're looking at, and it says, "Est pecus fatalum, Lucas Lator, videt et flet, nam quod tunc futurum est, finis erit." And you translate that out word by word. It is a grueling process. And what you find, you're like writing it down in a journal. It says, "It is the beast, the doom, the light bringer. Behold it and weep, for what comes next will be the end." And you see like a hand-drawn image below it of a stabbed man with like bloody gashes standing upright. We now go over to Connor. Connor, you're looking up stuff on cults, just as a general idea. Do you want to specify it at all, or are you just going C for cults?
Mostly cults about end of the world. If there have ever been cults in Charming or surrounding areas.
Roll me a plus sharp. You're investigating a mystery, if that makes a difference.
No, it does not. Sadly, reading that situation would help me, but
honestly, neither of them really make sense. You're investigating a mystery generally.
Yeah, that's a 3.
A 3, you're finding the real general stuff. Typically, cults are led by a charismatic leader. This is still a small town college in the Deep South.
Yeah.
You're not getting a whole lot of info.
That's
and
fine.
beyond that, you're not finding any specific references to cults in this area. It seems like most of the books here are like mass-produced paperbacks and hardcovers. There are some town records and things, as evidenced by the journal entries and newspapers, but there's nothing on cults here.
Cool.
Jessica, you got that bit of info. Thomas and Connor, you are wrapping up your various investigations. Jessica, you translated that. Do you alert the rest of your allies here?
Yeah.
You take this heavy Bible and this worn red book, and you slam them down on the table next to Thomas, and you call Connor over, and you all convene. Will also walks up. He's still here, so he's like, "Oh yeah, what do you got?" You translate out the thing for your Bible study?
Yeah, it's for my confirmation.
I'm pretty sure that happens a while.
No, there's 2. Maybe
there
not.
is.
Confirmation's like 12. So
Yeah.
Jessica hasn't been to church in a while.
It's never too late. I guess. So, what do we got?
Actually, I'm saving it. It's a big surprise. You know when it's like your bar mitzvah, you have to read it. You like read a special passage.
You just sort of walked over like there was going to be an announcement of some sort. So I thought that maybe
Yeah.
the room.
He's just like here.
I mean, if it's weird for you, I'll go somewhere else.
William like looks at William and he goes, can I roll just a quick vibe check? Just a quick. What does he seem like? Do I need to lie? What is probably read a bad situation? Like, do I need to lie? Is he gonna freak out? There's a pretty straightforward lie, which is Jessica's church asked her to read this passage. She's freaked out. And so she came to translate it because it's not in the Bible she used to read, and she's worried that, like, somebody's pranking her. They're trying to get her to read the wrong thing, right? There's, like, a pretty easy little loop that doesn't make perfect sense, but he probably isn't going to be like, I don't believe you. Or can we be like, well, we saw, can we do some version where we're like, well, the person who died, this Bible was found nearby. Like, what? Is there some way for us to get a very quick read on Will and what kind of kid he is?
You gotta roll charm to get a vibe on this dude.
Yeah, I'll go for charm. My odds aren't great, but I got a +1. I look at him real handsome, so I can tell what he thinks.
He looks at you real handsome, and you're trying to understand what he thinks.
Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. I barely fail.
You know things about him already. He has gone out of his way to help you in a way that most people wouldn't. He didn't balk at you saying, can you look into these fires? Yeah, I'm giving you, these are things that your character would just know.
Okay.
He didn't balk at these things.
All right.
You don't know, but you do know those things in universe, you know.
So I'll do a very quick nonverbal. I look over at Jessica. Thomas looks over at Jessica and does a little like, so I'm I'm a reporter, and you heard about the girl who was found, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, I find myself, I'm going to be frank with you. I went to investigate the scene, and I ended up speaking to the sheriff, and he was saying that there was some other reports of strange activity around, and then Jessica saw somebody tearing ass down the road in the van leaving from the school, and she followed on a bicycle, and we ended up finding out that another person had been attacked and killed. And after meeting the sheriff, William, it didn't feel right to leave it to him. Does that make sense? Have you met him yet?
Now you're gonna roll plus charm for sure, just to get that message across. I'm gonna say you're gonna have a +1 forward because this is somebody you have interacted with pleasantly before, and you've given a pretty good cover.
I'll give Connor a look of, if all else fails, you might need to do your version of this. You said +1 forward?
Yep.
That barely scooches us into a 10, so thank goodness for that.
Yeah, with the 10, they're going to do basically what you said for the reason you gave. So Will nods along, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that people are looking into it. The sheriff is a great
He's
guy.
a nice fella.
Mm-hmm.
Bless his heart.
But not necessarily the most keen on investigative information. So you are an investigator for web-based publishing and whatnot. So I guess if we're looking for investigation, then that's great."
And Jessica,
he like pushes some papers out of the way. He's like, I mean, I'll help.
And Jessica has been an absolute sleuth in all of this. Extremely impressive. She found this large Bible nearby one of the scenes, seemingly connected to one of the people that may or may not be involved, and so we thought we would do a little sleuthing of our own and get to the bottom of it. What did you find?
I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, you read
and
it.
It might not sound like me, but I'm gonna read it out loud.
Yeah, in a much higher pitched voice than what you're about to hear. It is the beast, the doom, the light bringer. Behold it and weep, for what comes next will be the end.
So really cheery stuff.
I don't remember that in the Bible. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember ever seeing that.
Yeah, I think this is someone special.
It's Old Testament.
Old Testament. Real old, by the looks of it.
I mean, we can have a lot of fun here. I mean, it's certainly, compared to some of the later passages of the Bible, it is relatively tame. It has no mention of great trumpets, undead, or great beasts with 7 heads, each of which bearing the head of a different animal rising from the ocean. This is comparatively tame, but what it is that I do not like is actionable. It seems to point in a direction. This does not make vague reference to a creature in the far-flung future. It says, "It is the beast, the doom, the light-bringer. Behold it, it is before you." So I'm guessing the passage before or afterwards mentions the method by which you would behold this creature. And I fear that perhaps that is connected to the deaths of these unfortunate girls. Also, and I point to the 1881 burning of the church. If this is connected to a larger, long-term strangeness, if this is some cult activity, the fire that our good friend William here seemed to have located in time and history in 1881, and I slide it forward, was located at a church, and it seems to have been a private citizen masquerading as the witch who burned it down with the people inside. At first I was thinking perhaps this was similar to what we were seeing here, but it's totally different. No dead girls in random corners of the town, no ritual murder. This is a good old-fashioned cleaning house of what sounds to have potentially been some arm of this cult that may be involved in our current proceedings. I was hoping to find something from the early 1770s to see if perhaps in 1771, every 100 years does this cult cause shenanigans? Because, I mean, who knows? Perhaps this is some English cult that hopped the Mayflower and decided to try some new stuff over here. I don't know. I'll look to Connor, who is holding a beginner's guide to Christian faith, and goes, "I'm guessing the cult search ended somewhat disappointingly given this library's..." And I look over and there's a bunch of romance books with cowboys shirtless next to me. Choice of funding cost. I imagine was perhaps not the easiest research project for you, Connor.
Yeah, no.
What was Charles up to?
Charles is actually out in the woods right now.
Oh yeah, he's a
not
deer
here.
running through the woods. What does he do? Sorry.
Easy to forget, you know what I mean?
How did that slip the old brain? I think that my brain probably sorted that into, Ethan must have broken out into a fever when he heard that and stuck it in a bucket.
The gaslighting effect towards the Connor character, just extra.
Strictly internal gaslighting. I love that.
He is reading a book on foraging.
He's getting firsthand experience in the forestry.
And Thomas would like make meaningful eye contact with Jessica when he says somebody embodying the witch did this 100 years ago, and then will stand up and try to poke through. I mean, unfortunately for like local records from 1771, unless there is a local museum attached, I'm really not sure what we're gonna run into.
You know that there's not a museum in town. You've been around enough to know that doesn't exist. Historical records, there's a chance that in the town clerk's office there might be some stuff. Town clerk's office is shut up real tight right now because that was also the mayor's office where a murder happened, and then a second kind of murder happened when the sheriff ran over the mayor with a car.
Are we lucky enough that there's like a historical society for the town of Charming, or is there a historical society for the county and
There's
it's
a
a 45
founders council.
Yeah,
There's got to be a founders council like in Vampire Diaries.
Yes. I guess my question is it 45 minutes away in the county office in Biloxi, or is it here?
You ask about that, and Will says, you're never going to believe this. My dad is actually the chair of the historical society. He might have some extra information.
Absolutely. Biloxi's a real
That's
city
convenient, Will.
in Mississippi?
It's in Mississippi, yeah.
You're so convenient and helpful.
I hear that a lot.
He's a charming fellow.
Hopefully I am.
He's a charming fellow for sure. So where is it though?
It's in town. They host meetings pretty regularly, like every couple weeks. The society doesn't have a dedicated location. I think that the members just hold on to various items that are registered to them, and they bring them for edification, research, stuff like that.
I have a question. I have the site, and
Oh, yes.
Natural.
well, I have the site, and
On episode 1, we were like, so you have powers too? And it's episode 4, and Charles turned into a deer, and Jessica can see ghosts.
So you have the sight. What does it do?
And it says you can see the invisible, especially spirits and magical influences. You may communicate, maybe even make deals with the spirits you see, and they give you more opportunities to spot clues when you investigate a mystery.
Yes.
I want to see if there's some spooky ghost sitting on William's shoulder.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll whatever you have to roll for that.
Roll for spooky ghost.
He's like, my dad can help with that. And Jessica, you open your eyes super wide. A third eye opens on your head. No, you're just staring at him, not blinking. It is a little unnerving. A 10. Okay. You have connected to his mind, and you felt a certain unease about him. And you are using an ability that you've never used before. You are unlocking your sight here. And it's the same as that, like, huge amount of information entering your mind all at once when you do your telepathic links, but instead purely visual. There's no sound going on. There's no thoughts entering your mind. You just open, and it's like you are seeing for the first time. You're seeing an extra frequency that you've never been able to observe. Nobody's been able to observe. And you do see spirits flitting about. There's like orbs of light traversing through. They're passing by harmlessly. You see a librarian in the corner that wasn't there, stacking books that aren't actually going onto the shelf. And around Will, you see a black aura just completely covering him. Within that black aura is a golden light in the chest, but he is shrouded in darkness, an inky blackness that you can barely see through to his true form.
I would like to... It says I can communicate, but I don't know if that's gonna work.
What do you say? First of all, you are speaking out loud. I need that to be so clear. If you're gonna try and talk, you are speaking.
You good, bro?
Roll cringe damage real quick.
Yeah. You good, bro? No.
Now there's an interesting, you can, if memory serves right, you can manipulate someone through your psychic jamski. So I'm curious, does she just need to say something, or does she need to be like, get out of him? Like, I'm just curious.
Free William!
Just because you took that specific move, like, is there a way to like twist it a little, or do you have to straight up be like,
if you wanted to keep Will from seeing what you're doing, you would have to attempt to essentially use magic on him to knock him unconscious, to turn off that part of his brain that will be observing this, so you could speak to whatever this is. You could do that.
I kind of want to, but I think what I'll do is first I will go up to him and I'll be like, can you hold this for a second?
Oh yeah, sure.
This Bible.
Yeah, he grabs the Bible and he's holding it. In your sight, you see some of that blackness pull away from his hand as he grabs onto it.
Great. Awesome. Oh god.
What's up? Something bothering you?
what?
You guys see Jessica's eyes are like slightly lighter than their typical color. It's obvious to you all as an FBI agent and a paranormal investigator that she has something going on. Not him. He's nervous. He's just grabbing a Bible.
I pat myself down just to make sure I still have my gun and knife and not that she's not about to kill him.
Yeah, you've still got your gun and knife. Jessica, what are you doing?
I kill him. I'm gonna ask him, I'm like, you look sick. Are you okay? Can I touch his hand?
Yeah. You touch his hand, the one that the shadows have pulled away from. Roll me plus weird.
No.
No. It's so good.
Unfortunately, you gotta roll me plus weird. You touch his hand with one of your hands. As you make that contact, you feel your other hand reaching for your waist where the large blade is resting, like hidden. You are about to grab the knife and plunge it into his heart. You are so close to killing this man. in the middle of the library in front of everybody. And it is a Herculean effort to push that urge away and pull your hand back off of his hand. You don't kill him, but you were really close. Are you going to attempt to knock him unconscious in any way, through magic or otherwise, and attempt to communicate with this dark presence, or no?
I think I still will, but not for long.
Yeah, I will say this. Thomas, you see her reach for where you know that knife is for a second, but then she pulls her hand back away. You're going to attempt to, this is going to be the same as like inflicting harm.
That's 9 + 2.
Before you pull away, you squeeze his hand really quickly and you say sleep. And he
What the hell?
collapses down into a seat.
Something bad is in him.
You reached. You were about to stab. Was the voice in your head again?
The gun. Yeah. Something bad in there.
Yeah. What did you say?
Something real bad. And I wanted to see if it would touch the Bible, and it didn't.
When he wakes up, we should ask him if that society that his dad's a member of. You think the mayor and the president of the college are members? Because it occurs to me that if you want to bring some kind of evil and deprecious force into the world, and I look down, you might need somewhere to put it.
No, do you think his dad would really do that to him?
Oh yeah. And Thomas will like whip around the corner. I take it you knocked him out for a reason. Are we gonna try to have a chat with the Shadow Man?
I don't know if it is communicable. I don't know if we can, but I needed to probe without Will watching.
I'm gonna stand there and really get on some Professor X shit and like put my hands on either side of his head. I'm trying to help Jessica out. This seems like way more her bag. I'm just hoping to like amplify or something so that she can have an easier time communicating with whatever this thing.
Yeah.
But I would like to help out and roll plus weird to do it if I could.
You can do plus weird. You're using your psychic abilities here.
Wow. Crazy rolls. That's a 13.
Wait, so I get a +1
Plus
and...
1 to this roll. That's all you guys.
Okay, because I rolled 9 + 2, so +1.
Well,
12.
yeah, huge.
Also,
rolls.
I just rolled 6, 7, 8, 9, or 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, or something like that. That was weird.
Huge rolls from the psychic crew all around. Thomas, you grab onto his head and you start reading this environment, and you are opening yourself up to danger. You've heard the description Jessica gave. Yeah. You have some mental safeguards in place that keep whatever this is from entering your mind. You feel it scratching at the walls of those barriers, but you open him up as well to Jessica. Jessica, you are encountering this thing. Its guard is slightly lowered as it's attempting to get at Thomas, opening up his mind. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna ask what was it going to do?
William's mouth moves, but his eyes are closed. A voice that is William's emanates, but almost doubled. And you ask, psychically, you probably don't even say this out loud, you're asking, what are you doing? What is your plan? What are you going to do? And it says, I am taking this body, and I'm claiming heaven, this town, and all mortal souls. What are you going to do?
Cry.
And then it says, behold it and weep. Perfect. It pulls away, and your psychic connection is severed. You see it still there on his body, but your vision fuzzes out, and you are no longer psychically connected. Thomas, it's as if your hands get shocked, and you pull them away. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.